Where is the Skyhold? Let me check. No. Who the hell knows? Okay, let's look at what has
Any
been...
news on rifts beyond reach of the Inquisition?
Yes, and it is not good.
Of course, everything out of the free marches appears to be out of our reach, so... Nightingale, our operatives harassed the enemy and created enough confusion for the Dalish to withdraw safely to a more defensible area. After investigation, your suspicions were correct. These are bandits in name only. Though they wear no colors, they are mercenaries. Bought and paid by Duke Antoine of Wycombe himself. I fucking knew it. It is unclear what caused Antoine to turn on the Dalish, but he should not be trusted. In public, he fully supports the Inquisition, even pledging gold to our coffers. But he has a private agenda currently unknown. I can continue gathering information, but suspicions in Wycombe are high after the bandits ran into trouble, and any sabotage inside the city runs a high risk of detection. Jester. Well, that fucking guy's coming down. Okay, I remember that one. Strike a bargain with the merchant princess. Let's retrieve the rest of my... what? Advisors, is it? The Serpent of Navarra. Inquisition forces waited until Pirellius left the royal palace in Navarra, watching until we were certain his goal was to report to his superiors in Tevinter. Then we struck. I'm told that our agents, a river named Tamar, cut a bloody swat through the ranks, and Pirellius himself was captured. Great. We recovered various artifacts he carried, and reports state that King Marcus came to his senses as if awakening from a dream. The venatory threat in Navarra has been eliminated. Really? So he was pulling a Saruman move on the Navarrans. Colden, well, that was good. Worked out. And let's see what happens with this. Despite their intent to craft a political entity to oppose us, these noble families are too embroiled in their own conflicts to even acknowledge us. We have acquired some additional trading partners who are tired of waiting for a winner to emerge. It turns out Liliana was right. It was better to wait. Well, it doesn't matter. If they... I thought they wanted to ally with me. I don't understand. It's all craziness. Turns out they were planning to go against me. A friend in Quirinius. You know what? Let's finish the Orlesian missions. According to Dorian, while most Intermagisters are not Venatory supporters, they will also not raise a finger to prevent them from wreaking havoc in the south. There are some, however, who see the cult for what it is and are trying to expose it. A magister contacting Quirinius by the name of Maevaris Tilani is attempting to introduce a law in the Imperial Senate which would see the venatory activity sharply curtailed in the winter. Dorian suggests that quiet Inquisition support for Maevaris would be beneficial and ultimately could drum up support from other magisters fearful of what Corypheus represents. Okay, let's see. I have contacts in the winter, although not many. Still, trading a few favors could help the Magister. The winter is a land where secrets are weapons. Let us arm this Magister against those who oppose her vote now. That law is against the Inquisition ultimate goal of making the winter our what? What is it? It is not a scapegoat. I forget the word or the concept. No, that's it. Our arch enemy. Our nemesis. That's the goal. Send the Tevinters into the arms of Corypheus. So the south will rally to the Inquisition and we can invade north. Which is something apparently we're unable to at the moment. We need to get our hand and choke both Orlais and Ferelden before we can even think of going north. The Tevinters must continue to get radicalized, just as much as the Templars and the Chantry. Therefore, that mission is out of the question. Investigate Hunter's Fell. Okay. Based on the relation at Haven that Venatory operatives report to a dark spot believed to be the Magister Corypheus, threat assessment of possible Venatory has been reprioritized as vital. Duke Thithas Pentagast rules the Nevarran city of Hunter's Fell. A former military hero who prided himself on his open-minded attitude, Duke Thithas rules with the help of a secret network of old adventuring companions and possible lovers, as they are all rumored to be beautiful women. So basically he's Hawk. The information on the a mix between Hawk and this Libyan dictator Gaddafi. The information on the 5 belts of Hunterfell is limited, but they are known to include humans from both Orlais and Ferelden, an elf, a dwarf, and even a Talbashoth. Known or suspected backgrounds range from respected Mortalitasi or Dragon Hunter to Bard, Smuggler, or even Apostate. We believe one of the 5 belts of Hunterfell is a Venatory agent working to advance the agenda of Corypheus. Okay, we're investigating. Investigating is good. But ultimately, we need the world in chaos. That's what I think. Which means Tevinter invading the south. That's my plan for the Central Thedas. An invasion of Tevinter. Which means we need to what? Weaken those kingdoms enough so the Tevinters can invade, but not so much that they can succeed easily. Because we don't need the conquest of Central Thedas by Tevinter. What we need is an invasion and a stalemate. Let's see what our advisors say. Dragon hunting is a noble's sport. Usually, I should be able to find out about this hunter. Okay. Avart's reputation precedes her, even if she wishes otherwise. I can uncover more about her. I have friends among the Templars. They might know about the supposed apostate. Who is more likely to be at the interagent? Well, I don't know if I should do this at all. One thing is saving the king for falling to the Tevinters. Because if that happens, then basically their success is guaranteed by taking out the Nevarran forces out of the game. But a Duke, I don't know. And what if investigating? No, but investigating could make them desperate, and maybe they will start doing more overt stuff, which is something I would love. Okay, let's see. This is not I think I'll do it, but it is not urgent. So I will leave it for last. There are other things that need to be done before, I believe. The Emerald Graves are known for the rare Embrium. The metal pyrophyte can also be found there, in its dormant state, of course. With a camp now established in the forest, Inquisition forces could be sent to collect these resources for transport back to Skyhold. Our forces should take whatever resources are easiest to collect now, thanks. The forest has rare herbs that should be the focus, yes, I agree. Pyrophyte is incredibly useful. Let's concentrate on looking for it, that's also very true. Pyrophyte gives me constitution, it seems. But herbs, I need more herbs. I'm having a lot of trouble gathering herbs. Rare herbs, but that's also not a priority. So we go to Ferelden. Ferelden has a lot of shit. Holy shit, fuck. Okay, let's look at this. Inquisitor! The allied merchants of the monarchy of Antigua have inquired whether they can assist you in any fashion. They could provide us with some of the finest goods in Thedas, a powerful boost to our prestige, and spread our influence north. The merchant princes will also attempt to ensnare us in contracts so convoluted that we will be eternally tied to them. Okay. If we are interested, we must send our most skilled negotiators. Our diplomats are well respected, and I feel we can come out ahead of the bargain if we are prepared to commit to it. I see no problem with that. I have chosen a few dozen diplomats to handle the merchant princes. I will, of course, inspect everything we sign myself. I don't see any problem with this. Spreading our influence north, gaining goodwill and goods out there. That seems reasonable.
At your service.
Go and get support in the north. Okay, let's see if we can find who's pretending to be Barrick. Ruffles. First off, you play a mean hand of wicked grace. Second, the lead you dug up for me on finding this Belenford guy in Kirkwall is starting to show some promise. I got my editor to look around for me. She's a coterie boss, so people tell her things whether they want to or not. She tracked down the poor sod carrying the manuscripts out of Kirkwall. There is where it gets weird. The courier is a magistrate, Lord Werner Camring. The coterie won't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Maybe you could have a polite word with him for me. Okay, since we're trying to make Barrick our BBF, we need to do this. A magistrate courier. He has to be involved in something else. Let's find out what. I have a friend in the Kirkwall Guard. She might be willing to talk to this magistrate. Now, I agree with Leliana almost always. We need to search for the deeper truths.
Let's see what we have.
And the guards are a blunt weapon. Acquired the Arcanist. Power for a price. Orzamar's friendship. Dorian's request. A memorial for Haven. We could send Colin to this. without any problem. Or gather resources. The truth is I need herbs. That's conscript for the Inquisition. That sounds like something Collingwood could do nicely. Let's see. Well, that settles it. We face a Darkspawn Magister who commands something that looks suspiciously like an archdemon. I defy anyone to tell me that this is no blight. We have Blackwall's treaties, we have a cause, Daedalus will require little persuasion. Okay. Information and conscripts are well enough, Inquisitor, but gold secures these things and more. What? Yeah. She's going against her own advice in the letter. Now, gold, who gives a shit out gold? What we need is information. Grey Warden influence may loosen even the tightest lips. I agree with her once again. We need to bolster our forces. Let me conscript North Shoulders now. Lilian is right once again. Where does he serve? Let's look at this memorial thingy. Ambassador Montillier. Although we have not always seen eye to eye, I believe that on this subject we will be in perfect agreement. I would like to build a monument in that site where Haven stood, as a memorial to all those who gave their lives defending the faith. Shall we work together to honor these fallen heroes, Madame Ambassador Marquis d'Urleon? But it's true. He lost his lands. I can do some fundraising for the project, and we should send a representative for the ribbon cutting. I'm sure I can get some volunteers from our ranks to help with the construction. Meh. Whatever, I don't really care, to be honest.
All right.
Let's hope they make it a one for the Inquisition. And not for the Chantry. We are supposedly fighting for the faith, but not for the church. That's the line I'm trying to, the tightrope I'm trying to walk. We're fighting for the faith, but not for the church. Just like Luther. Okay. That was odd. What the hell was that? Some random cutscene. Alright, I need to go to a gigantic incognita in the tavern.
The funniest thing I've seen in years. That cat dancing around, hopping and pouncing like a fool. Made my day bright, it did. Maker knows what got into the little rat catcher.
Okay.
Strangest thing.
What? Ah, this is where Colin lives. Interesting. Got no idea. Did I ever climb this? Doubt it very much. the fapping chambers, okay. Let's have a word with Colin then.
Inquisitor, I've found where the Red Templars come from. Therenfall Redoubt. The Knights were fed red lyrium until they turned into monsters. Samson took over after their corruption was complete.
How do you know Samson?
He was a Templar in Kirkwall, until he was expelled from the Order. I knew he was an addict, but this... Red lyrium is nothing like the lyrium given by the Chantry. Its power comes with a terrible madness.
Okay, number 2. I don't like. I believe you. I don't know, should I believe him? Barrick has said the same, basically. So I could believe him. And I have seen what Red Lyrium does myself in Haven. I would think that's unnatural. And certainly as an Dalish, I don't think I would approve. Now let's go with number 1.
The Red Templars swarming Haven were proof enough.
We cannot allow them to gain strength. The Red Templars still require lyrium. If we find their source, we can weaken them and their leader.
So, that's the plan. That sounds like something I could get behind.
Where do we begin?
Caravans of red lyrium are being smuggled along trade roads. Investigating them could lead to where it's being mined. If you confront them, be wary. Anything connected to Samson will be well guarded.
Okay. Let's go and look at the specializations. Ah, now I see. Those guys that entered were the masters of magic. Of course, what a fucking idiot. My trainer. It's a strange name. My trainer, yeah. It's some sort of elven name that got mistranslated.
Hold and declare, Inquisitor.
What do you mean?
I ask your intent. I was summoned to oversee training, and I would know my charge. I am your commander in this matter. Commander Helene.
Okay. Well, we need summon them to teach us things, so I think number 3 is a little bit crazy. And I'm sure as a former first, or maybe I'm still the first, I would be more or less accustomed to having a teacher, a mentor.
Thank you for coming, Commander Helene.
Commander will suffice, recruit. I teach the skills of the Knight Enchanter. It is a rank. It is a life. Understanding its hierarchy is the first step. You already know this. You were not made Inquisitor and then taught to lead. I will teach you how to rise to your place. How to join your warriors, spectral blade in hand. How to command the ranks while standing beside them. Are you ready?
No. I don't want to have a sword in my hand. I actually want to run away. Far away from those people that get in melee combat. Let's ask the questions and I'll leave the conversation. If I'm choosing a specialization, this doesn't sound like what I want.
Commander is a title I associate with human forces.
Knight Enchanter has roots in Elven tradition, but it has utility in every tradition. There are no borders for the mage who wields a spectral blade. There is respect, and there is fear.
Shit, but this is Elven knowledge. Fuck. So this is Arcane Warrior, isn't it? Yes, Arcane Warrior is a specialization you unlock in the Brazilian forest by some spirit that survived the ages. Ah, shit. The problem is this is knowledge that is apparently tainted by humans. It's not the pure arcane warrior of old. Ah, okay, thanks, Nutter. One question, so I am choosing one specialization, aren't I? One and only one. And once I select out of these 3 trainers, I'll be stuck with that specialization for the rest of the game. That's how it works.
Who granted your rank? What forces have you served with?
I cannot say.
Then how do I know you're capable?
You know because I have told you. And I will teach you the same authority.
Ah, they are quests. Alright. Thanks, Nutter. In the end, I'll be stuck with one, but I can pursue all 3.
Tell me why this would best suit me.
I cannot. Only you know if you are fit to lead with more than maps. Do you have the mettle to raise a blade in grand melee? To have your presence make heroes of your charges? This is a path for leaders. You tell me if you are worthy.
Well, she's really self-confident.
I can't commit to this yet.
Yes, I cannot. I cannot. Alright, you tell me. My companions have this, so let's take a good look at the mages. Dorian. Dorian has nothing. They know Solas does. I'm sure. Yeah, there it is. The Rift Mage. Maybe I need to bring them out. Now what, let's travel to the Emerald Graves and bring ourselves a few companions. And see if I can unlock their... Now I know who I brought. If Cole has a specialization... Yes, he does. Yeah, I need to bring them out of here. Okay. Then let's go and I'll unlock Dorian's at the very least. The Emerald Graves, yeah. It doesn't really matter where I go. Okay, Dorian, Barrick. I think Cassandra was out. Because I was switching Cassandra and Blackwall. Cole also and Iron Bull. This is a nice painting. Alright, so I choose only one. If it were Arcane Warrior, but I'm being taught by an elf. I don't know. I think my Dalish would definitely want to reclaim that knowledge. But I need to be practical. What is the best for survival purposes? Let us wait and see. Shouldn't take long. One hard-ass elf. That woman. This is the path for leaders, for those that are brave and courageous. Will you rise to the challenge or cower in fear, away from melee combat? That is my... Look at this colorful party. I think this is the most multiracial party I've ever had. Okay, let's see if this unlocks his... there it is. Necromancer. Dorian is well versed in spells that bind and manipulate fated spirits, a practice that does not have the same stigma in Tevinter as it does elsewhere in Thales. So we need to bring Solus with us. Let's bring Solus. And Dorian, only the two of them. So it seems Vivien was the knight commander, or whatever. Because this guy is a rift mage, wasn't he? Yes. Alright, let's see what this does. You create your own fist from the essence of the Fade and smash nearby foes to the ground. That sounds like an AoE to me. You cast Veil Strike more easily and the blow weakens your enemies, causing them to do less damage. And AoEs always fuck us all up. Let's see. You summon a boulder from the Fade and smash it into your target, sending them flying. Okay. The boulder summoned by Stonefist now explodes on impact, weakening and staggering nearby enemies. Well, that sounds good. Let's see. You pull stray magic from around weakened enemies to regain mana based on the damage you do to them. You pull stray magic from around weakened enemies to regain mana. And mana regeneration is powerful. Let's see. You use stray magic around weakened enemies to increase the power of status effects on them. Okay. What's this? Firestorm. You summon flaming meteors raining fire down upon your enemies all over the area for the next several seconds. Focus ability. Okay. I remember when I played Kingdoms of Amalur. I used on it was only one meteor, but I used that ability a lot. That was crazy. Okay. Smoldering Bale. Weakened enemies have the damage they inflict reduced even further. Ooh. That's nice. Shit, what if this is a... But it is magic. Nah, magic was the same with ice spells. But these two passives are really good. Without this one. You catch stray magic around weakened enemies and use them to increase the damage of your own attacks. Okay. Pool of the Abyss. You create a tiny rift that pulls enemies toward a central point. I remember this from Dragon Age 2. It was in the... I don't remember. Force? Specialization? I don't know. You can cast Pool of the Abyss more often, and enemies caught in its area are weakened. Okay. This seems like a very big on micromanagement tree, to be honest. This is all spirit damage, isn't it? I don't know. It would seem logical that it's all the spirit damage. Okay. I don't think this is good for my character. I don't know. Anything that's big on micromanagement, it's no good. Focus can suck my ass. It's ridiculous. Okay, let's look at Dorian. Horror! You unleash spirits of fear that terrify all enemies within the area. Well, that sounds great. Horror inflicts even deeper terror upon targets and reduces their armor while they are under the effects. This seems great, to be honest. This is exactly what I need. Let's see. Death Siphon. Every time an enemy dies, you regain both health and mana. Great. Even better. Blinding Terror. You have learned to leave enemies vulnerable in their terror. Enemies that are panicked take increased damage from all attacks. Alright. I don't see how I'm going to choose anything other than necromancy. Haste. You increase the speed of the entire party. While this ability is active, all enemies move and attack more slowly by comparison. Perfect. Next. Power of the Dead. Killing enemies attracts a spirit that increases the power of your spells for a short time. Simulacrum. If you are knocked unconscious, a spirit you control takes on your likeness and fights on your behalf for a short time. The spirit draws magic directly from the Fade, casting spells without cost. You cannot be revived by any means until the spirit leaves. Okay. I see no problem with that. What about this? Spirit Mark. You mark attack it with an attacking spirit, inflicting ongoing damage. If the target dies while marked, the spirit mimics the victim's body briefly to fight on your behalf. This seems great. This tree is awesome. I think I'm going to switch Dorian and Solas, sadly enough. What if I had 2 necromancers? That would be great. Targets you kill with the spirit mark now fight for longer and harder. Without this. Walking bomb. You curse an enemy inflicting 1 spirit damage. And then trigger the curse in a devastating explosion. No, that's not no good. That will kill us all. That happened in Dragon Age 2 quite a bit. If walking bomb kills your target, the effect spreads to nearby enemies, causing secondary explosions. Yeah, that's no good. Sounds like an AoE to me. Because one thing is weakening enemies, but this tree takes them out of the fight for a lot and gives me health, gives me mana, gives me allies. It gives me much more, I think, than the Rift Mage. And for a ranged party, I think it yeah. Ah, Soulless. I think you're gone from my party. What a sad thing, isn't it? But we need to be pragmatic. Unless I'm going to talk to elves, I think the fucking Tevinter Mage is going to travel with me for quite a bit now. Yeah. This is weakening them. No, what I prefer, Terror and allies and haste, especially haste versus this bullshit. Who gives a shit? Firestorm. This is the only good one, but even so, it might pull me. And I remember that ring of... well, that was very difficult to cast. This seems like a very, yeah, as I said, micromanage your spells. While the necromancy stuff seems perfectly suited to what? To my playstyle. Everything can be casted except this walking bomb without any type of caution, you could say. I can just cast it and cast it. What about the other one? The Elven Knowledge. Okay, let's go back now that I have a working idea of how those two specializations work. I did refuse BBN Nutter, yes, I did. She offered me an alliance with the Circle of Magi. I couldn't take it. So I've always said my Inquisition is meant to destroy the Chantry, not help it. And an alliance with loyalist mages seems like exactly that. Extending a hand to the dying Chantry in its hour of need. And I will never do that willingly. She kept telling me, I represent all the loyal mages. I am the ranking member of the circle, what's left of the circle. She was like the leader of all the loyalists, and therefore an alliance with her meant an alliance with them and the Chantry by default. At least in my mind, that's how it played out. She also kept telling me she was friends with the Emperor or Empress of Orlais, which is a big no-no as well. We need the Empire to crumble. And I'm sure she would have turned on me if the day came. I need to talk to the day came when I decapitate the leadership of the Orlesians. Something that we must do as well. We need to follow Corypheus' plan to the letter, because he knows what he's doing. Okay, let's see my trainer.
Hello? Yes, hello. I am your trainer.
Yes?
I am your trainer.
You said that.
Good, because it has been a long journey. The cause is just, and if we don't start soon, you won't have time to learn. I am your trainer.
So it's actually her name, huh? Ah, you don't like Vivienne. Yeah, I'm sure she's a very strong-willed individual. Someone that will dish it as soon as she receives it. She seemed like a pompous asshole as well. Hello, Sigwin, how are you? Whatever, she wants to teach me fast, I agree.
Let's not waste any time.
No, we shouldn't. There's no time. Very little. Thank you. I was charged with studying the breach and the subsequent rifts to discover how they affected traditional disciplines. I was enthralled. So were the 19 others, I presume. They're dead. They learnt the power, but couldn't wield it. Rift Mage Inquisitor. The forces are incredible. And with training, you will be incredible. I know how not to die, and I can teach it. It's incredible.
She went insane. Ah, of course, that would be like mixing oil and a flame, or gasoline and a flame, bringing Sarah and Vivienne. Someone drawn from the upper echelons of Orlesian society and someone that clawed her way out of the slums. Yeah, that wouldn't be a pretty sight. This is a good question.
Who charged you with studying magic from the rifts?
The Mages Collective. I did not just say that. Yes, I did say it, and we're proud to help. We are nimble, we could move quickly and commit people to this rift magic. Many people. Their lives made it stable and safe. We're very proud.
Okay, so apostates. Alright.
Tell me why this would best suit me.
You are the Inquisitor.
And?
You deserve power that casts your enemies aside with the abandon of a creative force, crushes them with your very will. That is the promise. Who better than you? You are the Inquisitor.
Alright.
The rifts were triggered by the breach. There's already a school of magic.
A school? No. Yes. Sort of. The holes in the veil flooded us with magic, and that can be used. It changed some rules, modified them, enough that the careless inverted themselves, old forces in new forms. Others will try, their results will vary, but you will have the best instruction. Because your trainer has already taken the risk. The price has been paid.
Alright. I don't think she will tell us anything, but no, Rift Mage I don't like. Which means...
No, I can't commit yet.
this guy is at the Intermage, isn't he? Ah, fuck me in the ass.
Inquisitor, I heard a tapping. My skills are required.
And you are?
Speaker Rios Anaxas.
Okay.
I come from Navarra
Holy
as a voice
God.
for the dead. Welcome them, and they will serve your cause.
He's Navarran, okay. Were he at the Intermage, I couldn't learn anything from him. Too bigoted to do it.
The Inquisition is open to any allies.
Not really.
Warmth I do not often find. Thank you. I am of the Mortalitazi. We tend to those who have passed and revere their lives by honoring them in death. And when the living are threatened, we give the bodies of the dead physical purpose once more. Necromancy, Inquisitor. The dead will serve for you.
Yes, that sounds great.
What is a Mortalitazi?
We are the caretakers of the Grand Necropolis of Navarra. For the treasured relative, we usher a spirit of the Fade into the void of their mortal form. It honors them both. But when enemies threaten the living, we turn death into a weapon of war, instead of merely the result.
You're saying you can bring the dead back to life?
Of course not. The souls of our departed cross the Fade to be with the Maker. The body is left empty.
Then what is it that you do?
In the Grand Necropolis, we would usher in a displaced spirit of the Fade, eliminating imbalance. But this is war. Every battlefield has one thing in abundance: death. I turn the bodies of enemies into weapons against them. We do not manipulate the living. We make use of the dead.
Everything he's saying intrigues me. Plus I know the spells, what the spells are.
Tell me why this would best suit me.
It is not for everyone, yet we all reach beyond life. You have already killed many out of necessity. To stop at death is wasteful. Death can make allies of enemies. Death can rend the battlefield. Death can terrify.
People will fear me.
Don't you want to terrify? Fear means there are fewer to fight next time. Fear means lives are saved, if that is your concern.
Yes, this guy is pretty close to convincing me. But I think it's time to metagame, sadly. Because, yeah, obviously Vivienne was the other mage. Should I metagame? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. No, that's not meta game. Okay, Sinner, yeah, let's talk out. Did you say a Rift Mage or a Knight would suit an better than Elven Inquisitor? I would agree with you on the Knight. Because first, I'm being taught by another elf. Second, my character should know the Arcane Warriors. Because she knows about history, she's a Dalish. So, more likely than not, she would have heard of the Arcane Warriors of old in Arlathan. The Rift Mage, yeah, exactly, a knight, whatever, is invented by the elves. I agree with you. And I said so not 10 minutes ago, that my Inquisitor would like to reclaim that knowledge from the humans that have corrupted it. Rift Mage, I don't know. First, it seems like an unstable form of magic. Just going by what people are speaking in the game, not the actual spells that I now know of. And that would be kind of dangerous, I would think, risking everything in a school of magic that is barely a month old, taught by a crazy person. Hello, Gigup. What we're trying to ascertain at the moment is without metagaming, and that would be. The problem is I don't have BVN, therefore I cannot. Without metagaming, I cannot ascertain what the Knight Commander, whatever, Knight Commander is all about. Not, well, whatever, Knight Mage, Arcane Warrior, let's say, because that's Arcane Warrior, honestly. What I like about this necromancy the mage is overpowered overall, but I actually think that the ranged rogue is the overpowered class. But what I like about the necromancy is that it basically allows me to turn the enemies into allies. It's like jiu-jitsu. I turn their strength into my strength, their nastiness into my survival. Plus, there is something else that my character would be interested in. It is what this guy was saying. It's a doctrine, not a doctrine, a school of magic that relies on fear, not on example. It relies on fear, which is ultimately what I think will keep the humans in line. Although we are actually right now trying to you see the philosophy of the Knight Commander or Knight Enchanter, is it? Knight Enchanter and Necromancer are the opposite. So, you're saying that to be careful, that bugs can actually fuck me over with necromancy. Okay, Sinner, thanks for that. So you have two philosophies. One, Knight Enchanter. You lead by example, you go into the fray. You are the warrior king or the warrior prophet. And you have a Necromancer. You actually instill fear on your enemies and destroy their very identities. Let me see. Let me think.
I'm not committing to this yet.
Recruit, I await the completion of the first of your orders. Only then can you learn to command.
I can't commit to this yet.
Okay, let's get back to... I'm looking at this just to understand a little bit what we're having. Cassandra's specialization seems extremely powerful. It will make closing rifts extremely easy, to be honest. Plus, it gives a bunch of bonuses to allies. For example, all of this only works for him. He hasn't given any bonuses to allies, it seems. Holy shit! This is crazy. Yeah, this is too focused on him and only him. For some reason, yeah, specializations are going to make my pragmatic decisions much harder. I thought I had my party sorted out, but turns out, for example, now I prefer Dorian to Soulless, something that was not the case before. Let's see if that the same happens with other people. And then we will get back to this problem of the specializations. I don't know. It's really difficult to choose without metagaming. I know what this does. It will be the same as the mine. I'm sure of it. This is an AoE disaster waiting to happen. The same happened with what? The mine, the ice mine. It says when an enemy enters, he will get freezed over, but they also freeze my characters. I'm sure the same will happen with this. Yeah, all of this is AoE. Out of the question. I think Barrick isn't... I'm not going to use Barrick ever again. Gigup favors Soulless, Barrick, and Cassandra based on the specialization meta only. I will agree with Cassandra. What she has seems exactly what I need. Well, I haven't seen Blackwall's specialization. I'll get to him in a moment. But Barrick seems out of the question. All of this is AoE stuff. It will get me killed, I'm sure of it. The game is pretty punishing with the friendly fire. Well, this seems great. Promise only lasts for 15 seconds. No fight that's going to get ugly will last 15 seconds only. That is crazy. Yeah, Barrick is out of the game. Sadly. And I think Soulless, well, Soulless not necessarily, but most of his abilities are also AoE abilities. Soulless is the same. Most of his abilities seem AoE based. And I don't know if that will affect my characters. If it does, then Soulless is also, unless I'm very much compelled to bring them for story reasons. I don't think Soulless Honor, but Soulless could still be useful. But Dorian seems much more so. Yeah, only story reasons I think will make me bring Soulless or Barrick with me anymore. Let's look at this guy. A spirit dedicated to mercy? What are they trying to kid? A spirit dedicated to mercy. Yes, sure, whatever. Gold is oddly suited to killing enemies with speed and precision. He can eliminate targets too dangerous to face directly with strikes. They even they don't even notice. Okay. Does any of this work with bows? He seems to be a little bit too focused on two-handed blades. Okay. Close to death. Well, that's good. Killing a target removes any cooldown on stealth. That's great. A Horda grenade containing a powerful concoction that puts nearby enemies to sleep. Enemies affected by knockout bomb sleep more deeply, allowing your allies to hit them harder with flanking damage. When you go into stealth, and your party follows your lead, the entire party remains undetected for the duration. Well, it's a very short duration. That won't allow me to escape. Okay. Critical hit automatically from stealth. No, this is a micromanagement. Or will it automatically trigger after 8 seconds? Trigger your mark when you're ready. What if I don't? What if he doesn't? And I can manually do it. That's can switch and mark enemies without any problem. Start damage 100%. This doesn't seem. The auto triggers at 8 seconds. Okay, thanks, Gigup. Alright, next. Blackwool, let's see, because Cassandra is sounding very good. Sworn to give his life to protect his friends and allies, he puts himself between them and danger. And his experience and resolve let him stand against attacks that would fell weaker warriors. Okay. This is actually good. Line in the sand. Since I tend to rush people, this is actually good. That will allow me to prevent a lot of enemies going past me to the ranged warriors behind. And that's good. Bonus to maximum guard. And constitution. You don't flinch, you don't blink, you don't back down. And people can get stunned. Okay, let me see his power thingy. You push yourself to a limit, gaining full guard and taunting all nearby enemies. While this area is active, you automatically counter all melee attacks. What does that even mean? I counter? What is countering? I've never countered anything in my life. Well, in this game at least. I counter? What? Does that mean I do damage to them? I reflect their... Is there an ability that's called counter? Maybe. One of these. He's untouchable, he's immune. Okay, they should say that. Fucking idiots. You counter that. Alright, yeah, he's immune to damage for in melee. Alright. They should say you are immune to melee attacks for the duration. That's what it should say. More armor and constitution. Imagine this. This is good. Prevents him from going down. Well, also, well, that has happened, but when I stop you controlling the I don't think has anyone killed me controlling the tank. I don't think that has happened. This is a good one. Let me check. You taunt an enemy into frenzy. Their damage increases over time, but also as the amount of damage they take. The effect ends when you get out of range. What? Really? Per second? So if I can avoid an enemy for 10 seconds, they will take 15% more damage? Go with 2 warriors. Well, the problem is my character is a is a mage. I could turn her into a necromancer and take the 2 warriors with me. To be honest. I assume very little will get done. The problem is 2 tanks is too difficult to manage. Because when I let the AI control a tank, they get hurt really badly. Really, really badly. And they will consume all the potions. Sure as hell. You taunt an enemy, okay, that's good. My guard improves as your... Holy fuck. This would be a highly dangerous ability to use on a mage. But on a warrior it would be perfect. But against a mage, for example, if we're going to fight Corypheus and I use this, it's like signing my death notice. My death certificate. Because he will use an AoE and focus all. Alright, let's see. Immunity. This is true immunity to damage. So basically... But you're right. You're right. If I were only metagaming, I could bring them both and use Cassandra when I need to attack and use Blackwool when I need to defend. Both of them are really good. This is a tough choice. To be honest. This guy is extremely defensive. The problem is that the best defense can be offense. If with Cassandra I'm able to get rid of a bunch of demons, for example in a rift, if I can spam that spell purge or whatever it's called, I can get rid of demons fast. If I fight a big ass demon, well, I can use still this ability of his. I don't know. This is really difficult. At least they are making it easy for some. Okay, let's look at Sarah. Increases armor and freezes enemy that strike me. You can't use this ability while another elixir is active. Okay. Taunts enemies? No thanks. I don't want my rogue to taunt anyone. For a short time your release costs no stamina. Enemies who attack you are knocked backward. You can't use this. Well, overall this seems better than the other one. All your abilities have... Well, flask of... 5 seconds. Okay. It's only 5 seconds. Well, if thing attack a pure demon wrecker, yeah, I agree with that. Okay. I don't understand this. Do I have to carry... Is using this ability gaining an elixir? Let me check. Giving you the chance not to use an elixir when you activate an elixir ability. Okay, let me check what you're saying, Sinner. I don't understand. Is there a fixed amount of elixir she can get? Well, it doesn't matter. This is also good. All right. What is an elixir? I don't understand. It's an actual physical thing I have to craft? I honestly don't know. It seems to me they refer to it as a potion, as a tonic, or a grenade, something that you actually have to go and craft and equip it to her. But it'll, yeah. But these abilities, the two on the top, make it seem as if it were just like any other ability. Okay. Alright, thanks, Gigup. This is confusing. Syntax. But whatever. All of this is micromanagement hell. It is powerful, but it is the micromanagement hell. But it could work. Okay. Holy fuck. What I like about Cassandra overall is that his abilities tend to help the group, not just herself. I mean, with actual stat increases. While Blackwool obviously helps the group because he's the tank, so he will be better at tanking. But since I play so defensive with the stats, I think my abilities need to be a little bit more offensive in nature. To be completely honest with you. If I micromanage Tempest, it will be beyond OP. Ah, but the Sarah will do fine by herself. Okay, thanks, Sinner. Yeah, that seems like a good one. The other guy, Cole, he also seems capable enough. While Barrick, just too risky. I don't know. Let me look at Tempest. You're telling me if I micromanage Tempest, I will be invincible. Let me see. How? 5 seconds and 30 seconds cooldown. Now that leaves me with, what is this? With 23 seconds where I can be killed. That's too long. 7 seconds of invulnerability and 23 of extreme vulnerability now. I need to manage the tank. There is no question about that, I think. Okay. Now let's get back to the other problem. To me, the party is sounding like Cassandra, Sarah, Dorian, and obviously Lilith. Switching Blackpool and Cassandra were appropriate, and switching I don't know if I would switch Dorian, really. But what do we do here? We're back to the quagmire here. I could go with her and bring a second warrior. Make Lilith a second warrior. That could actually work to some degree. If I make her a second warrior, I would have to worry much less out here. Or maybe not. Maybe it will become a mess. Just like bringing another warrior would. Blackwool. Or whatever. The problem is I don't trust the AI in melee combat. And this is hardcore metagaming. I'm making these decisions in metagaming, basically. But could the AI... Let's suppose I go with Knight Enchanter. If I do my job properly, and all the enemies are focused on me, then another warrior could prove useful. Especially if she can cast defensive spells on both of us at close range. But what if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work, I will be stuck with an anvil in my neck, dragging me and consuming all the potions. And it seems the specializations are... Well, I can always force her not to use the melee part of the tree. But since all the specializations are basically 2 branches, that would be making the specialization quite useless, wouldn't it? Only I already have a necromancer. I agree with you, Senner. Knight Enchanter seems like the most defensive one. The problem is, it is the most defensive one, I agree. But it's also the one that puts the mage in most danger. If you ever go with the melee branch, which would be logical, why else would you go with Knight Enchanter if you don't want to get into melee combat? Okay, let's make the decision based purely on what I have in the game. You disagree, Sinner, why? I'm not forced to go into melee, but what she's telling me is you will gain a sword. This school will give you a sword. And she said very clearly, so you can go and fight in close combat. So if I don't use... I don't have to use it the sword spell, very true. But I will be then losing that ability point. That will be a wasted ability point. Thrown to the garbage because I won't use it. While in necromancy, the ones I don't want to use will be down, all the way down in the tree, at the bottom of the tree. I don't know where that sword spell would be. I'm guessing at the beginning, at the very top of the tree. I'm sure I can keep her as a ranged knight enchanter. The problem is that would some debuff the specialization, to say it, make it weaker, because I won't exploit it to its full potential. While necromancy is definitely something that the AI can manage on its own, I feel. That's what I feel, at least. But as I said, I'm going to make this decision based solely on in-game stuff, not in-game, story-wise stuff. What the characters told me and not what I have seen in the menus. So I am going, I'm going with Knight Enchanter. Ah, you're telling me it can be defensive. I can conjure the sword to fight. The thing is, I like my ranged characters to run away. They shouldn't engage in melee combat. BioWare really fucked up when they didn't give the ability to ranged characters to run away. They should not engage in melee ever. They should not allow a melee enemy to get close to them. They should run away. Standing and fighting is ridiculous, and standing still attacking other people while someone is hacking your head off with a sword, it's even more stupid. Ranged characters should run from melee characters. Pretty simple. So, but given that they don't, I can see your point. Having a sword could be useful, because instead of being helpless, maybe she can fight back a little bit more effectively. Anyway, I'm going with this. Why? Because an elf is teaching me it. Second, because the arcane warrior is knowledge unearthed by the elves themselves, or invented by the elves. And that's it, basically.
Recruit, I await the completion of the first of your orders. Only then can you learn to command.
Let's see what this entails.